Good morning or afternoon all. It might be postbag. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. This could be a postbag video. It's certainly an unbagging. Okay, let's unbag and see what we've got. Well, it's this. It's COB rechargeable keychain light. Now, you may have seen these on YouTube adverts. You know, the type that say, a retired jet engineer has taken the flashlight industry by storm. Oh, that's a USB-A to USB-C cable, but it's microscopically thin. That's probably the worst one I've ever seen. And there's the torch. A college dropout has revolutionized the UK flashlight industry. This £20 flashlight, which you can actually get on AliExpress for $4, is taking the UK by storm. Okay, let's try it out. Maybe not directly into the lens. Oh yeah, that's quite bright. Dim setting. This is going to be SOS or something, isn't it? So strobe alert. No. On, dim. Oh yeah, strobe. And off. So my intention, because I don't really need a keyring flashlight, actually I have a keyring flashlight, is to take this apart and see what's inside. This switching and flashing would imply a microcontroller, so maybe we'll find one. Oh, now I should mention I've got a new camera. Well, it's a phone. It's a Motorola G31. So it might sound a bit different. I've got a feeling it's stereo. So if I come over here, that's left for me, that's right. I don't know whether that's going to be the right way around. But yeah, let me know what, if anything, is different about the picture quality and or the sound. Just a little look around the outside of this thing. They've packed in the features. We've got a magnet there. Yes, CR2032s are magnetic. Carabiner style link for your keyring. That's a bottle opener. There's the USB-C port cover. USB-C, nice to see that. There's the switch for the functions. And that's actually a thread for mounting on a tripod. Oh, also there's this. There's a little stand for sitting it on your desk. Yeah, they've really packed in the features. I quite like that. Now, how easily will this come apart? It looks to me like that front bezel should come apart. I can see a tiny little gap in there. Let's see if I can get that on camera. It's hard to focus on it. But there's a tiny little gap there, so that should ping off. And then we can see what's inside. But I think first what I'll do is I'll do a screen grab of the AliExpress listing from which I bought this. So this is the item on AliExpress. I have to raise my voice a little bit when doing screen grabs because I've noticed the levels aren't quite the same. And I try to manually match them. But anyway, that's irrelevant. 20 pieces of a mini LED working light, portable pocket flashlight, and all the rest USB. Yeah, $4 and a penny. Now, of course, you don't have to buy 20 pieces. You can buy one piece. Oh, does that show it with the lid off? I don't know. So yes, now these came from LED Solar Lighting Store, and I will put a link in the description so that you can go to this item on AliExpress. Oh, this one was free shipping. Actually, that's quite cheap because these days both eBay and AliExpress are charging VAT at source, so you pay it up front. Postage is rarely free on these things, so that's not too bad, is it? Well, now I've just edited the first shots of this video and the screen grab, and the audio level from the camera is very low, worryingly low. So I don't quite know what I'm going to do about that. I might have to raise the levels in the editor, but I've never had to do that before, and really I don't want to be messing around with audio levels in the edit because that just makes editing a tiresome process. Right, let's see if I can ping off this front bezel. I don't want to break the blade in the process and have bits of blade fly across the room. but that does seem to be coming off. It also looks like the back module also comes away from this metal frame, so I might play with that too. Just have a play with this off camera, I think. Oh yes, this is coming apart. I've managed to get 2 corners. Oh, why isn't that? Yeah, to crack off. Oh, that looks like it might be a 3rd one. And there it is. Now, will it all come out? Okay, we've got a COB. We've got a lithium cell, as one might expect. And we've got a circuit board right at the bottom. Well, it looks to me like this is going to push out of the frame. So that's got it out of the frame. Now, how do I get all of this stuff out of this little plastic container? So COB LED, lithium cell, no markings on the lithium cell, so it doesn't give an indication of its capacity, but you can probably guess from its size. And I've got to think about how to get that PCB out. There's really the most basic of separations between what potentially could become a very hot COB LED and the lithium cell, and it's just this sort of 2mm thick piece of foam rubber. Not heat transmissive, we would hope. There's a little subframe in here, and I think that's going to have to come out. I don't quite know how it comes out. Oh, it comes out like that. For the PCB to come out, so I'll keep working on that. Okay, that's out. There's very little on here. This is a single-sided PCB. Let's get the camera down a bit and get in a bit closer. Oh, how do you refocus on this camera? Do you touch to focus? Clearly not. Oh, I wonder if there's a macro mode. Yes, there is a macro mode, and there's also touch to focus. If I touch that, it should focus. Oh, did it? I don't know. Okay, so USB connector here, 5 volts and 0 volts. We've got 2 lights for presumably charging and charged. Green is charged. Microcontroller, we assume, capacitor across that. Now there are 2 transistors. I'm guessing one will be the driver for the LED. Is this in focus? It's very sharp, the image, and then when I start the camera, it sort of goes not very sharp. It's odd. So yeah, one MOSFET presumably to drive the COB LED. Now that's on that lighter blue wire. So yeah, we've got a 1R0. So is that 1 ohm? Yes, I assume that's what that means. MOSFET, so almost certainly a chip here. I'll see if there's a marking on that. Well, now both these MOSFETs are marked Y1, so I'll have a look in a little minute what that is. But yeah, they're both the same. So you've got a MOSFET there driving the COB LED. There's also a MOSFET somehow between the incoming 5 volts and the microcontroller, and it's just got a 101 resistor, so 100 ohm resistor. So I'm not entirely sure what that's doing. That can't be acting as a regulator. Yeah, so this must be a 5 volt microcontroller. I'm just not entirely sure why that MOSFET's there. But I'll have a look at what the connections of this thing are next. So let's look at Y1 MOSFET. Well, that's interesting. Most of the results for Y1 SOT23 are coming up as this being an NPN transistor, an 8050 transistor, which I suppose it could be. I would have thought it would dissipate a fair amount of power, though, if it's an NPN transistor. I guess this makes more sense as an NPN transistor between the 5 volts and the microcontroller. But yeah, almost always you have a MOSFET there if you're driving a fairly heavy load, but possibly not here. This microcontroller chip has absolutely no markings on it whatsoever, so we'll just call it a generic 8-pin microcontroller. You can see that the function switch goes in as an input. We've got 2 outputs coming out to 2 LEDs, power and ground, and then there's another output going out to drive this transistor, which switches on the LED. So there's very little complexity here, but of course the microcontroller has the PWM function for the dim brightness and also the slow PWM or just LED flashing for the flashing mode, and of course it does the sequencing, the 4 states of the switch: off, bright, medium and flashing, so it has to handle all of that functionality. Also, I wonder if it's involved in charging of the battery. Is it actually able to see the battery voltage, or is that, no, that has to be within this chip. I mean, it's possible this is an ASIC, an application specific chip that's been designed to do this job, and it's sort of part microcontroller and part application specific stuff, including battery management stuff. Interesting. Can't be sure which it is. Now, I could draw a schematic of this. It hardly seems worthwhile. Touch to focus. Does that actually do anything? Possibly. Because it is so simple and we don't really know what's in the microcontroller or black box chip here. So I don't think I'll bother. I'm just going to try and put this back in its box, because having things with lithium cells and wires dangling and exposed connections is probably not a good idea. So I'll see if I can cram it all back into the case. Well, the front was glued on and now it's not really attached very well at all, but that's good enough to put it in a box somewhere and forget about it. So that's what's inside a $4. Now, it might have been more than $4, because once you add VAT, there was no postage, but once you add VAT, it's going to be a bit more. I think the prices show up as VAT exclusive, because of course they're for different parts of the world. But certainly not a £20 flashlight is taking the UK by storm. None of that nonsense. That's what's in one of these carabiner style keyring torches. Cheerio.